Star is now boarding.
The Portland Spirit is embarking on a unique and historic river and land cruise series you won't want to miss.
Hi, welcome aboard. Watch your steps on the way in.
Setting sail June through September of 2015, this maiden voyage follows the steps of early settlers as it explores historic Oregon City and the Willamette River.
The really exciting component to it is that we're going to finally add a shoreside element. We've done a similar cruise in the past where we've gone down and toured Willamette Falls and gone back, but this time passengers are going to be able to disembark the ship and get on motor coaches and tour the Oregon City area, two of the local museums, and also take a historic tour of the downtown area. So that's going to be really exciting, being able to do both the river and the shoreside components.
The trip will begin in Portland, where passengers will either board a luxury motor coach or the Willamette Star, a 98-foot custom-built yacht with a complete onboard galley, full-service bar, and 2 climate-controlled decks. The 2-hour boat cruise takes passengers from Portland, down the Willamette River, through Sellwood, Milwaukee, Lake Oswego, and into Oregon City.
There's so many elements to the cruise portion of it. One of the beautiful things about our region is that you can start in a major metropolitan area, see the city skyline, it's gorgeous, but in a very short time you're in nature. And within 20 minutes of leaving our dock, you can see bald eagles flying around. All sorts of wildlife, it's in abundance. And being on the river, you get such a different perspective that even though there might be a major road or community just on the other side of that hill, from this perspective, it's wildlife and it's nature.
There's so many things that you can only see on that river. The bald eagles, we just saw one right after another, and some of them were nesting pairs. The blue herons were amazing. And then the beautiful homes and the history and the bridges and etc. That's what Oregon's all about. And I just think it's a fabulous story. And you can't tell it any other way besides on the river.
The all-inclusive tour includes a delicious onboard dining experience.
The beef and the salmon and all of the produce is locally grown. And we really pride ourselves in the region. In fact, our wines, our beers, even our hard alcohols are largely from this region. The goal is to give the traveler as much experience of Oregon as possible and the Pacific Northwest. It's not just, we'll show you the sights, we want you to experience the entire culture. And we have a really rich culture with our food and our distilleries, breweries, and wineries as well.
Okay, now back to 0. That's a good man right there.
The spectacular finale that greets passengers at the end of the river portion of their voyage is a breathtaking up-close view of the Willamette Falls. With a magical portside turn, the Willamette Star heads back in time to historic Oregon City, where the father of Oregon himself boards to greet passengers.
Dr. John McLaughlin has boarded the dainty Willamette Star.
Following a brief historic lesson with Dr. McLaughlin, passengers disembark to begin the land portion of the journey. During a motor coach ride, a tour guide points out historic Oregon City markers on the way to their next stop. Local historians in period dress lead visitors through the end of the Oregon Trail Interpretive Center while sharing historical events. The shoreside component of the journey is 3 hours total and includes 2 stops. It is coordinated in partnership with the Rivers of Life Center, a nonprofit group dedicated to mentoring youth and promoting healthy waterways in Clackamas County.
The 2 places on land that we're visiting today is the end of the Oregon Trail Interpretive Center, which commemorates the history of the migrations from 1840s through 1880s and 1890s. Then the Museum of the Oregon Territory, which celebrates the territorial history, about 1849 and before, when we didn't even have a state.
At the end of the tour, passengers who started the journey by river will enjoy a historic narrative as they ride the motor coach up the McLaughlin corridor back to the boarding location in Portland. Those who started the tour on shore will dine and relax on the river cruise as it heads back up the Willamette River to the starting dock.
Just being on the river gives you a completely different perspective than being on shore. And a lot of travelers might come into the area, they might go to the museum, but to actually get out on the river and see it from that side of things, and so much of the history of this area is really surrounded by the river.
The Oregon Historic Tour runs June through September. To make your reservation, log on to portlandspirit.com or call 503-244-3900.